You've probably used ChatGPT at least once this week, maybe to write an email, fix a line of code, or understand something you didn't have time to Google. You're not alone. Within 5 days of launch, it reached 1 million users, faster than any consumer technology in history. For a moment, it felt like OpenAI had solved intelligence. Investors, students, CEOs, even governments began treating OpenAI as the center of the future. But then, the illusion cracked. New models quietly spread into products, and slowly, the world stopped treating OpenAI as the singular authority in AI. In this episode, we'll trace how OpenAI built an empire where the first cracks appeared, who rose to challenge it, and what the AI battlefield looks like today. By 2015, artificial intelligence was still a research playground. Google was experimenting, Facebook had labs, but OpenAI entered differently. A non-profit promising to build AGI for the benefit of humanity. It attracted researchers who believed intelligence should not be owned by a single corporation. Training large models wasn't a university experiment, it was infrastructure. By 2019, OpenAI pivoted into a capped profit structure. Investors could earn limited returns, while the non-profit mission remained the logo on the front door. The turning point came the same year. Microsoft invested $1 billion and plugged OpenAI into Azure. OpenAI wasn't a research institute anymore. It was a weaponized partner. Then 2020, GPT-3, a model that could write, reason, and code without retraining. Developers built companies around it. Investors treated it like oil. ChatGPT broke the internet. 1 million users in just 5 days. This wasn't hype, it was a crown forged by timing, money, and mainstream adoption. For a moment, OpenAI wasn't part of the race, it was the race. By 2020, OpenAI was no longer a quiet research lab, it was a commercial engine. Sam Altman and the leadership believed that intelligence should grow through contact with the real world. Inside the organization, a different vision emerged. Researchers like Dario Amodei, Daniela Amodei, Chris Olah, and Jared Kaplan, the minds behind GPT-3, argued the curve was bending too quickly. Scale was outrunning alignment. Models were becoming more capable than the systems that controlled them. The fear wasn't failure, it was unpredictability. They wanted a seatbelt before the car hit the highway. In 2021, they left and formed Anthropic. Not to beat OpenAI on benchmarks, but to answer a philosophical question. AI should be powerful, but it must be predictable. By late 2023, OpenAI looked untouchable until November 17th. With no warning, the non-profit board fired Sam Altman. Their statement was vague. He had not been consistently candid. Key researchers walked out. Investors learned about the collapse the same way the public did, through social media. A company worth tens of billions seemed to tear itself apart in a weekend. By 2024, the idea that one company would rule artificial intelligence began to break. Not because a single competitor overpowered OpenAI. The first kingdom was born from OpenAI itself, Anthropic. It positioned itself as the safety-first empire. While OpenAI pursued scale, Anthropic pursued stability. Backed by Amazon and Google, Anthropic captured the enterprise, banks, defense contractors, compliance-heavy corporations, the places where good enough is never enough. Then came the opposite philosophy, XAI. Elon Musk's approach was acceleration, not restraint. Grok models train on enormous GPU clusters and tap directly into the live stream of X. They are built for speed, real-time information, and minimal guardrails. For users who want unfiltered answers and institutions that fear overcuration. Meanwhile, Google DeepMind leveraged a power OpenAI could never copy: distribution. Gemini doesn't need to win every benchmark if it lives inside Search, Android, Gmail, Chrome, and Google Cloud. Google places AI in front of billions by default, turning intelligence into infrastructure. Numbers tell a different story than hype. On benchmarks, the crown no longer belongs to a single model. Claude Opus and the later Claude 4.5 generation beat GPT on code reasoning tasks like fixing real software bugs end to end. Gemini often leads in multimodal problems and tool use. Instead of one straight line of progress, we now see clusters: Anthropic on reasoning, Google on agents, OpenAI on speed and product polish. These aren't narratives, they're hard signals. The age of a single AI monarch is gone. OpenAI didn't watch its advantage erode, it pivoted. At the other end of the spectrum, OpenAI launched the O series and GPT-5, models that don't just answer quickly, they think. Deliberate reasoning, stepwise math, code repair, scientific analysis. The AI race is no longer a straight sprint. It has fractured into arenas, each with its own champions. NVIDIA's blueprints for banks and factories. Even the device layer is reshaping the map. Apple runs intelligence directly on iPhones and Macs. Tesla trains AI that doesn't chat. It drives cars and learns to walk. And governments are drawing the boundaries. Europe enforces systemic risk thresholds. The US remains fragmented, and China tightly manages generative models. In this world, dominance isn't one model beating another. It's who adapts to the most battlegrounds at once. The question isn't whether OpenAI wins the next model release. It's how intelligence will exist in the world. Will power sit with a few private labs, or with open systems that anyone can build on? Will AI live in cloud servers, inside our phones, or in the machines that move through our streets? And who sets the boundaries? Corporations, regulators, or the people who use these tools every day? The cracks in OpenAI's dominance aren't signs of collapse. They're proof that the era of a single empire has already ended.